You voted for it, so here it is. My Nintendo Switch Pro Controller unboxing video of awesomeness. Basically, unboxing videos are actually really kind of silly and weird that we even watch them, so let's call this video ironic and move on. So, here's the box itself. Really pretty picture. Actually very small. I didn't think it would be this small in my hands. It almost feels like it's barely big enough for the controller, which I think is kind of nice. You get some other side views there. A couple instructions. 40 hours of battery life, it says. That's pretty surprising, but that's the box. The most important part to opening a box is having the right tools. It has one of those really stupid little plastic tab things you can probably barely see. If I had just the right light, yeah, right there, that little tab thing. And so we're going to use our trusty knife here. That way we don't damage the box, right? You don't want to damage the box in an unboxing video. Otherwise, what would be the point? This is the part where everyone watching the video is like, and aren't really fans. Like, I hope he cuts himself cutting this box. But as you can see, I'm not cutting towards myself. I'm cutting away, and I'm being very careful. So that's a little tip for all the kids at home. So now that we have removed the seals, we can now sort of get back in here and open the box. So this is it. This is the big part of an unboxing video, I guess. You got all the nice packaging and stuff inside. And like I said, the controller like barely fits inside the box, which is pretty surprising considering the game boxes, which are very pretty if you flip them inside out. These things are relatively small compared to the older boxes. But if you look inside, I mean, look at that. Like how much, look at all that wasted. Look at all that wasted space. I could take up like that much space, but I guess it'd be easier to lose or whatever. So let's get this thing out of here. We've got a little cardboard in the way, and that just kind of pops out, I guess. You got the little protective sheathing. It looks very similar to what's on the console itself. Actually has like this protective sheathing on it, and that's it. That's an empty box right there. We looked at the box unempty. Now we're looking at it empty. It's done. So what's in the box? A nice little sheathing thing for the controller and a cable. So besides the charging cable, you just get the controller and that's it. It has that little plastic covering over the shiny plastic. Everything else is pretty. It's pretty matte. You're not gonna get any fingerprints on this thing. It sort of has this more like solid rubber part and then this hard plastic. But once again, it's kind of that. It's not the shiny plastic. It's just kind of that sort of like see-through plastic. And so it's not going to be a whole lot of fingerprints right there, but you will get fingerprints right here. And it looks like you have a couple sensors and other things going on there. So that's it. That's the controller and the cable. So how does it feel? It feels like a regular controller. Very nice. Just naturally, if I lay my hand in this controller, my fingers just go like perfectly around the back there. Like it feels really nice. Like that's exactly where I'd want my hands to be. It doesn't feel unnatural at all. And so when here's my natural resting position of this finger, like right there. Like that's I don't have to like move my hand in any weird spots. I don't have to like go up and down. Like this is where my fingers would naturally rest. So I feel like the natural position of my thumb is a little to the right. But besides that, the controller doing pretty good. So they went with kind of a soft rubber on the outside and then a divot in the middle. So obviously you can sort of drag your finger on that, which I think is kind of nice. In the past, they've done little textures in the middle. I think that was pretty good. I think this is superior to that. I also think this is better than the older PlayStation controllers. I don't know if the newer PlayStation controllers have, but the older ones were pretty smooth. They were like slightly textured, but these are actually kind of my favorites because they're kind of textured on the outside here, and that just feels like really nice. You have an actual D-pad, which is clicky to a little bit, a slight clickiness to them. My keyboard here. Let's see if I can hit a few keys without messing anything up. Like that. It's not like that. LR and ZR. Before you use the controller, they say you're supposed to charge it, so I guess I should do that. They have two on the outside here. And I think there's even there's even an extra one on the inside, USB 3. Obviously, if you're rocking 4 Pro controllers and they're all running low on batteries, you might be a little screwed. If I plug it in like that, it's supposed to be synced to the system now. That's what the directions say. Alright, here we are. I can confirm that the controller is synced as soon as you plugged it in. There's a little icon right there. There it is. I'm plugged in. One thing that I realized after I started using it for about a minute is the capture button and the home button are actually even easier to access. On the original Switch controllers, the Joy-Cons, the only way to push the capture button is to push that button way down there, which your hand, isn't really, like you have to kind of move your thumb way off the controller. But with this one, the buttons are actually like right here, right next to the joysticks. I don't know if that'll be an issue, like accidentally pressing them. I mean, the joystick is pretty high compared to the other buttons, so I don't think that will be much of an issue. So it's just your basic Zelda game, so I don't really notice too many differences with the controller. Even when I had the Joy-Cons, I felt pretty confident using the controls. And so I can even do, the run and sprint. Moving from B to A is relatively easy. I know some people prefer to do sprint with X and then go down to B, but it doesn't really bother me at all. So with the bow and arrow, what I normally do is I use the joystick for the big changes in direction, and I use the motion controls to sort of make those tiny little tweaks. And I actually like that because it's a little easier to make small changes in your aiming. It sort of reminds me more of like a keyboard and mouse as opposed to a joystick where you have to kind of hold it in a particular position. So if I turn around and I aim in the motion controls, got him. And so that was all motion controls except for when I moved to the left. And as you can see, it's a little jittery, but yeah, I think it works. I think it works just as well as the Joy-Cons basically. My final review of the controller: it's awesome, feels great, plays great, has the motion controls, though I think it could be a little better, a little more accurate, and I think it'll take a little bit getting used to, but I think for the most part you can just ignore or turn off motion controls in any of the Nintendo Switch games. So that's it. That's all I really have to say. It's a little expensive for what it is, but it is a great controller. So if it ever goes on sale again, I definitely recommend it. Thanks for watching.